in 2011 in Tunisia was a revolution,
Yes.
and you took active part in this revolution.
Yes, almost every young Tunisian have participated. That's why it was successful. Otherwise, without all that public mass and participation of all Tunisian youth and young people, it wouldn't be successful.
Would you tell some words about your experience
Ah, okay.
and your role?
So everything started it on the 17th December 2010. A small trader who was selling fruit in the street, his name Mohammed Bouazizi, was selling, like I said, fruit in the middle of the street when two cops come to him and seized all his products. So as a response, since that's the only thing he have to make a living, he used fuel and started fire on himself. This happened on 17 December 2010 in Sidi Bouzid, which is a really poor province of in the middle of Tunisia. This Mohammed Bouazizi had a university degree, but he couldn't find a decent job, so he had to sell fruit in the middle of the street. Once Mohammed Bouazizi was dead, the youth of Sidi Bouzid just couldn't stand to see him die like that without any response. So they gathered and they went to the province center and started to have a different attack with police. So they started to kicking police out of Sidi Bouzid. After a few days, the revolution was, we started to call it revolution, since we started to get some population with it, move it to some near province, and in the 14th of January, the revolution was in the capital, in front of the Ministry of Homeland Security. And protesters were asking to Ben Ali to leave, and they were not accepting to live anymore in this dictatorial regime, which have made our life really difficult in the past years, with his violation to human rights. Not allowing any organization to work freely without being controlled from the regime, not allowing any opposition party to work in this country. So most of political leaders were either in prison or out of the country. At 2 p.m. on 14 January, Ben Ali took the plane and left the country and went to Arabia Saudi, and the revolution was officially successful. The military was on the side of the people, so they didn't attack the people, but just protected all the national establishment and kept the country rolling until another government was put in place.
And what was your role?
Well,
what did you do
during? Well, I haven't did something specific, but I was just participating with other guys. We went down to the street and we asked for the change. And after Ben Ali was out, we went to Al Qasba, which is a small, a little bit big place in the capital, which all the protesters gathered in there, and they started to ask for a second republic and for a new constitution for the country. and for their basic rights to be applied. So I just participated with them, and eventually, when this was already done, we started to preparing for the next election, and we start to work to build our country with our NGO and our organization in order to make the youth that made the revolution once more participating in political life and helping taking decision and deciding the future of our country. The basic thing that helped us communicate between each other was social media. Officially, all social media network were banned in Tunisia, but we managed to use some software like hotspot and other things to get through the government suppression and to communicate between each other. And Facebook actually played a huge role in the revolution, so it was the main thing to organize the assembly and to gather all the people at the same time in the same place in order to have a stronger action and to really have an effect on that day.
And how? What do you think about current situation in Tunisia?
Okay, our current situation is not really stable. We have elected a parliament in the last year, which will be there for 5 years until 2019. But we have two strong parties in Tunisia. One which is liberal, the other is Islamic, so both of them are trying to impose some of their point of view on this republic. With both of them have about the majority of deputy in the parliament, so they are the first and the second most represented party in the parliament. Otherwise, we have a really old president, which is about 90 years. It's something that most youth didn't like, because a revolution was made by youth, and we wish it to get a little bit smaller president, more active, whom know better the problem of the youth and what we are looking for. And the same president was an old member of the same party that President Ben Ali, who is escaped, was controlling. And now this new president has put his son on the head of the major party, which control the majority of deputy. So on the other side, we have the security problem, with many terrorists coming back from Syria and from Libya, trying to take down the government and fighting the police and the military people. We have a crisis, economic crisis, since tourists are no more coming to Tunisia, and tourism was one of the main resources for our economy. On the other hand, we have a high rate of unemployment. Many young people have a degree from university, but they can't find a job, or have to work for another job which is not what they study, and they will be paid really few. So there are a lot of difficult things for us. We hope our country get through them safely, but it's going to be a really strong, really difficult period.
So, are you an optimist or a pessimist?
Yes, I am an optimist. I always think after 10 or 15 years our country will be hopefully like Estonia. I don't think it's possible in this short time, but I hope that. I know that youth people have a great idea for our country, want to make a positive change, but they just haven't got the opportunity yet. So that's what organizations are trying to do. NGO are trying to prepare the future leader to take control in when the country need them, and to have a really qualified leader in which really know the needs of the country and how to help her out. But in the next few years we will have some really difficult time.
So you have got qualified people in the government, yes, but have you got your own ideas, maybe economical ideas, how to improve the situation?
Well, I think the most important thing now is to take care of the security problem. So because one of the main thing for tourists, for investor, is security. If you have no security in that country, no one will come there for tourism or for business or for anything. So we mainly have to build a strong army which can defend our country and stable, make it stable, security on the security level. On the other hand, we have really to find some way to make investor, especially foreign investor, to come to our country and to start a new project. Perhaps we need to lower the taxes and stuff like that to make it, I don't know, like Dubai, which they have a free commerce area, which businessmen don't pay the taxes. And we have to really invest in agriculture. We have to try new stuff. We have to find another field which can be really good for our economy in the future.
Thank you so much, Nether. I
It's a
wish you
pleasure.
all the best
Thank you.
and nice future for your country
Yes,
and
let's hope that.
you personally.
Yes, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.